The following podcast episode might contain coarse language and subjects not suitable for younger audiences. Your discretion is advised.
Live from a not-so-sleepy little town comes a podcast for a mobile game. Really? Anyhow, your hosts, a content creator and an artist trying to come up with wild ideas while also talking about whatever. It's the Goosebumps HorrorTown TerrorVision podcast!
Hello, welcome to the Garfield podcast. I'm your host, Garfield, and with me is my co-host, also Garfield.
I'm also known as Lasagna Lover 69.
Oh, yes, I love me lasagna. Speaking of lasagna, let's talk about that. Why did Dawn not give us any lasagna recently? I mean, what does all do with that?
I think he told me once that he didn't have enough money to get any, which I thought was kind of bullshit.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
Because I saw him go on a date with Liz the other day, and guess
Oh,
what they had? You
I
won't
hate that.
fucking believe this.
I hate Liz. I hate how
You won't
he always
believe
takes
what
us
they
to the
had
restaurant.
at dinner.
Yeah,
You
no.
won't believe what they had at dinner. It's
What?
lasagna.
Oh my God.
I know, right? Like they're having lasagna, and they didn't have the forethought to give us lasagna. Like
Like,
that's
what is
that's
the
like
deal with that,
disrespect.
man? Nah.
When I
And no,
found out about it, I had to kick Odie off the table.
oh
That's how
yeah,
mad I
don't get me
was.
started with Odie, man. I hate that cat. I hate Normal too. He was so God, he's so
You don't
annoying.
believe?
And then that
Oh yeah.
clown, man. Don't get me started with that clown. He does the way he goes.
Kids!
Yeah, no doubt.
Okay, we're done. I
This is
don't
what I
know
hate
how bad that
nowadays.
sounds, though. All right. All right. So sorry about that. Welcome back to the You Know What podcast. I'm your host, Graham, and of course, it's my co host, PV, or Vampire.
Also known as Lasagna Lover 69.
Yeah, it's also known as Lasagna Lover 69. So, yeah. Imagine if someone named Lasagna Lover 69 comes on the channel, it's like, no, you're not. I am. How dare you? Yeah. But yeah, we
Oh,
kind of.
imagine if Pixel actually came up with a fucking town simulator that's also just based on Garfield.
They kind of did, though, way back when.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, it's called
Oh,
Garfield: The Survival of the Fattest. I think I talked about it a little bit when it came to my garbage field video, which was great. I love my garbage field. I love it because not only one, the character like I got this for free now, which is ridiculous. So it's like I paid for it on Amazon, right? But then all of a sudden I got refunded it, and I'm like, oh, okay. So I don't know how to feel about that. And then not only that, I thought I
just
was gonna get
just
copyright claimed, but I didn't. So it's
just
like,
have like a
okay.
couple of guys just pretending to be Garfield, just like talking about a fucking Garfield game.
Yeah, I actually, yeah, the problem is the game, like, the thing is with the game is like there was like an update with it, and then it died because Snoopy came in, right? And they were like focusing on Snoopy. And if you looked at the Garfield game and then Snoopy, you can see some elements from Garfield that came into Snoopy, because Garfield was the first in the town builder game that they kind of went with, because most of the time they were doing other stuff, and Garfield was the first real IP they had. And that was easy for them because Jim Davis was just like, yeah, go ahead and just use my IP. I don't care as long as it makes me money. And then I think they had to go ahead to do Garfield too, but they never did do that. I think they can't
Damn.
do it now because Paws doesn't own Garfield. I mean, they kind of do, but really it's Nickelodeon who owns them now.
Like, other than like the Garfield cartoon, that's like Garfield and Friends.
Yeah.
Everything that's anything related to Garfield kind of turns out to shit. You ever notice that?
Yeah, I know. I mean, speaking of the Garfield cartoon, it reminds me of that one scene with the one character comes in. It's like,
He's got my girl! He's got my shoes! He's got my merchandising!
but yeah, no. I mean, yeah, the Garfield movie was something. I know there's a new Garfield movie now with Chris Pratt. God, I All right, I'm just gonna go off
Okay,
with Chris Pratt
like
right now. I hate how
I
Chris.
actually do want to watch the movie though.
It is a good
Like
movie.
no
I mean, I
lie.
heard it's a good movie. Don't get me wrong. It's not a bad movie, but the problem with Chris Pratt is that he's not a great actor. Let me go ahead. It's like I
I mean,
don't.
he's
Hi,
good as
I'm Chris
Mario.
Pratt. And I'm gonna play as Garfield as Chris Pratt. Hi, I'm Garfield. Now I'm gonna play as Mario playing as Chris Pratt. Oh, it's a me, a Mario. I love that. By the way, when he was revealed to be Mario, he goes like,
It's a me, a Mario. That's not the voice. You'll have to wait to hear the voice.
It's me,
That became
Mario.
such a meme. I mean, as soon as people saw that, they laughed, right? I mean, everyone in that movie did their role best. Like Jack Black, it's like you knew he was Jack Black, but at least he tried to sound like a Bowser, right? But no, Perth Pratt was like,
Oh,
nah,
no,
it's just me.
because Jack Black is like Jack Black does like everything good. Like it
He's a
doesn't matter
voice
what
actor
role you
too,
give
yeah.
him. He's just like he's the best thing about anything.
Well,
So
he's a
trying to
comedian,
get on
right?
his level, hell no.
Like I love there was a scene with Jack Black in particular when they're doing the movie for uh, when they're doing the advertising and everyone's sitting on the chair. He's like, "Where's Jack Black?" He goes out in the corner and Jack Black is just wearing a Bowser costume. He's like, "Hi, oh hi, what you look great, thanks. Why aren't you coming out? I just feel like an idiot, you know. The other guys said they were gonna dress up like this, and then, I'm the only one. It's like I feel stupid, right? No, you don't feel stupid. It's like
Oh, remember that? I think it was like a Jimmy Kimmel thing where like he, Jack Black was like using the little saxophone toy.
yes. I think it was
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was. I mean, it might have been Conan. I think, or no, it could be Jimmy Kim. I know one of the saxo beatophone or whatever it is, the beato box. I don't know. It's something like that. Three motherfucker.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
love
that's great. Not only that, but that kind of reminds me that there was apparently Conan's last episode. They had Jack Black come in there, and what was funny about it, he comes in like with a broken ankle, not a sprained ankle type of thing, right? And he's just
Oh
like,
yeah.
yeah, funny story about this. We wanted to do a bit where I was gonna come in and I was gonna pretend to hurt myself, and then they'll take me on the little stretcher and the ambulance, and then they'll be like, no, 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 hold on, I need to go back. And he just runs back into the thing, right? And they were testing this, and as he was testing this, he sprained his ankle for real. And he's like, oh shit, I need an ambulance. So it's like,
That
yeah,
almost kind of
no, it's
reminds
like
me of that.
I hurt myself for real.
It kind of reminds me of that one scene in Family Guy where, like, I guess Peter was introducing an old friend of his mom's to like his friends, and like at the last part, like Joe is he was like the last one sitting there. He's like, "Well, God gave me this one chance to walk. I was gonna use it for Susie's wedding day, but I might as well just use it now." He just fucking gets up and walks away.
Yeah. Speaking of the Family Guy stuff, it kind of reminds me of. Yeah, I remember that time. I remember one of the funniest is the original Family Guy stuff was with Big Fat Polly. Hey,
Oh,
Polly, do
big
you
bad
feel like
yeah.
there's aliens? I mean, I don't know, but if there is, take this, you stinking aliens. Hi, Polly. This is my friend Big Fat Polly, and this is Big Fat Ass.
I remember one scene in that episode where, like, Peter's trying to discern who's Big Fat Polly,
Yeah, are you Big Fat
and then
Polly?
like
How
Big
dare
Fat
you?
Polly comes in,
Are you,
and
please
then when
God, Big Fat Polly? Yeah, I'm Big Fat Polly. Guess I got milk.
yeah,
Yeah.
some of the early Family Guy stuff is like really funny, but for some reason, like they made Peter Griffin so
Stupid.
no, not stupid, unhinged,
I guess part of that
but like in a
problem,
bad way.
I think part of the
Huh?
problem is once something gets overdone for such a long time, it becomes flanderized, which is
Well,
funny because the term came from The Simpsons, which is true. Because Flander was originally like, oh, he was a neighbor who was good and who happened to be Christian, and now he's just Christian all the time. You know what I mean? They just became over characterized. Like the little features become part of the character because that's what they are, right?
Yeah, but with like Peter Griffin, it's a little bit more different considering that like, now he's become like this fucking serial killer. I can't say the other word because like it's yeah. I don't want to go like too far deep, but
We don't
for
want the
people who
yellow
know,
Dolan.
yeah.
uh, all right. Well,
Let's just say that let's
very
just say
bad
that
man.
you should have kids.
Very bad man. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Anyways, I think we're going off topic a little bit with all this stuff.
Oh yeah.
The one thing I will say
So
before we continue on our little adventure, I want to go back to Garfield for a minute because I remember there was. I know. Give me a second.
we're
There's a
going
reason to
off
go to
topic a little
Garfield.
bit. So in order to get back on track, let's go back
Go
to
back to
Garfield.
Garfield and friends. The Garfield show. There were two things that came out of that I actually liked, or that was meme worthy. One of them was there was a clip where I guess he was talking to somebody and he was just seeing versions of people mad at him, right? And he's just like, oh, they're Odie and all that stuff. And all of a sudden he starts saying like, oh,
Cauldron, Jim Davis, and Ivy, Al, Jim Davis.
and he just zooms in and there's like a 3D version of Jim Davis. It's like Jesus. And he looked at me. All of them had like red eyes, so I was like, it looks evil. I just love the fact that Garfield just goes and goes, Jim Davis.
I actually want to see that clip. I don't think
It's
I
gonna
don't
be
think
in.
I've
You
seen
probably just saw it in the video because that's just how I roll. But yeah,
that.
you're gonna rewatch it and go, that's what he was talking about. But yeah, there's that. The other thing that recently there was a meme that came out from the Garfield show, which was the Nermal in the garbage can. So I know the original context for the clip, right? Because Nermal was being annoying by ringing the bell and all that. And what happened was they put a freeze frame on the one scene, so it made it look like Nermal died in the can. And John just opens the can, looks down, sees Nermal dead. He just kind of looks at it, kind of in disgust, and just closes the bin
Oh yeah,
with the sad
I've
saxophone
seen that
music.
meme all over the internet.
I kind of want a Goosebumps version of that because it would be funny just to see. I was kind of thinking maybe Slappy because I know he was like in the dumpster, but I don't know. It feels like we need to have an update where that would be appropriate to have, but I think like that would be a funny meme to kind of do. Just to see somebody looking in the garbage can and seeing like dead Slat or somebody in
Like I
disgust.
was thinking of like Curly looking over to see Slappy in the
That's what I
garbage
was
can.
thinking too. Curly's looking in the can, sees Slappy like pretending to be dead and whatnot, and just closes the can again with the
Yeah.
music. Maybe that could be something we see, but who knows? Maybe if it is, I'll show. If not, then whatever.
Oh yeah.
Well, we'll let you decide. I mean, that's the fun part of this, right? We come up with ideas, and then sometimes it becomes reality. Other times, not so much. But
Yeah, I
yes,
like making jokey shit.
yes, I know. I can't wait when we talk about it came from the internet. I don't know when we'll talk about it, but when we do, oh boy. There's a lot of stuff I want to talk about with that one, especially with Brownstein, because he does. I was thinking about it the other day, and I was just like, "Oh, you know who he reminds me of?" And I'm just like, "All right, hold on, I'll hold it until that episode, and then I'll talk about it, because that has its own things, right?" But, anyways, right. So, before we discuss on our topics, let's go ahead and talk about something. A quick note. Right now we're recording this on June 30th. We were supposed to do it on the 29th, but complications, so we're doing it on the last day, on the Sunday of June. Tomorrow will
The
be
day
Canada
before
Day.
Canada Day.
Yes, I know, and then also the 4th of July, so that long summer week into July. So you get some context where we're going from here. I believe this should appear. I don't have a calendar on me right now, but I usually do it by the third of the week is Friday, And then we do our recordings on the 4th week on Saturday, usually, is what we tend to do. Because the 2nd week is when I tend to work on the video, and then the 3rd week is when it premieres.
So hypothetically, on July, we would most likely see it on the 19th.
If that's what's on the Friday?
Yeah, it's on the Friday.
Yeah, so it would be on the 19th then. That's when this video would be premiering. And then I guess we'd be filming on the... I'm trying to think my math here, just looking at my math, bringing my calculator. The 27th would be when we would be recording our next episode. I think.
All right.
I think. I don't know. I mean, the things can subject to change as we've seen right now. But yeah, as of the recording of this video,
approximately the 27th.
Yeah.
Approximately the 27th.
Maybe earlier, who knows? But anyways, yeah, no update. We have no knowledge of what's going on right now, but we are going into July, which means that this is going to be the month where we find out. So by the time this video comes out, we probably already know what it is. And we'll most likely talk about it, not the next update, but the update after. So it'll be around August, I think, which will be premiering in September. Yeah. I don't know. We'll see what ends up happening, but yeah, don't expect the next episode to be talking about the next update as per usual. So sorry about that, but we'll have fun with this anyways. So before we go in to talk about our main topic of discussion, let's talk about a old familiar past updates. And I think this was an interesting topic we decided to pick because I think it has some basis with the topic of this video. But I mean, I guess we'll see. I mean, I personally think it has some kind of connection a little bit just because of the nature of one of the stories, and especially when it comes to the episode tie-in to that. But yeah, we're going to be talking about A Shocker on Sock Street, probably one of the best updates that came out in 2020.
Oh yeah, definitely. Fucking definitely. I love Shocker on Sock Street.
Yes, I love it because they tied in also a bit of Camp Fear or Fry Camp in there. More specifically
Well,
with...
it's not only that.
Yeah.
The theming itself, I just love everything about it. And I actually discovered like a video game song as I was playing through the update. You're familiar with the Shantae series, right?
Yeah.
There was one which I think was called I think it was like Shadow Village or something.
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about.
Like that theme fits very well with the update.
Oh,
Like-
yeah, it does actually, now I think about it. Interesting. Probably
Yeah.
playing it in the background as we speak. Who knows? I have no idea what I'm doing. Maybe, yeah, I say this stuff, maybe I do it, and the other times I'm lazy and I don't do it. So it's like, it's a surprise. Alright, it's a surprise to me too.
It's a really good to play in the background as you're like going through that event, because I did, and I had a fucking whale of a good time.
Yeah, that's a missed opportunity on my part, but yeah, there was a lot of memes that came out of it. Partially too, it's because I and Erasmo had helping hand with this update. Like most of 2020, we tend to have some helping hand with this. So what happened was, the context behind this update was way back when we had a list of ideas we wanted to do. So in the group, this was like, I think on Slack is what it was. It was like, it's like a professional Discord service in a sense, but it has its own limitations. But anyways, they decided to do a poll and basically was just like, what's the next update you would like to see? And it like gave a different opinions. I think one of them was a Twister, the Twister book.
It's
The
the
Into
Twister of
Twister.
Doom.
Yeah, that was one of the books. But the other one was what do you call it? The Shocker and Sock Street, and that one ended up winning on the landslide. So it's like, all right, we know what we're doing next. So we ended up working on the Shocker and Sock Street, and one of the things I suggested was one of the characters should be introduced as like a director of sorts, and I was just like, well, the only known director that had any care, like, yeah, there was a director type in the actual Shocker and Sock Street, but he was a robot. In fact, a lot of things were just robots. But then it's just like,
Yeah, but
well,
he also had like Yeah, but as far as I remember, in the actual book, the director didn't really have that big of a role. He was
No,
only
he
like a
didn't.
cameo of sorts.
No, no, he didn't. Yeah. So I was like, well, I mean, it's a film update, so what would be the best character? And it's like, well, there was only one character that kind of had a film, like who was a film director who happened to be whatever. And this is when we kind of started teasing him a bit when it came to, speaking of, it came from the internet where I had a helping hand with Rachel's role. I sneaked in a little bit of some Shocker and Sock Street stuff as well as Sphere Camp by adding in R.B.Faraday's stuff. And I gotta say,
Right.
I love R.B.Farraday, especially with the
Yeah.
suggestion where I was like, you know what? He kind of sounds like the director from Halloween Horror Nights, and I'm just like, yeah. And I kind of gave him some ideas too. It's like, oh, maybe you can also add a little bit of Tim Burton in there or something like this. And he's like, no, no, the full-on director. It's like, okay,
Like R.B. Faraday, like how like R.B. Faraday wants to like make the most scariest thing possible.
yeah.
That guy's making snuff films.
That's the thing. I think RB, the director, like from Halloween Horror Nights, that was his shtick. Was that his films were that he would actually kill people on set, like that make his films real. They basically would have one
Yeah,
takes, right, for his actors per se, and
yeah.
that was the
You get
whole.
one roll, and that's all you get.
Yeah. And it's like, and then his commercials, which I actually showed off in one of the clips, was like, you get to see the character and stuff. It was a great marketing, especially for like a film, a film studio. Like it makes sense. Like, oh yeah, a scary
Yeah,
director, why not, right? But what was
it's a
interesting,
really good concept. I really loved the director. He's
yeah,
like the best thing about. He was like my favorite character of the Horror Night series.
he is. I mean, the Jack is pretty good too. I mean, he's probably the most iconic one just because of his
Yeah,
characteristics, right?
but
But
in my
yeah,
opinion, I love the director more. So
yeah, the
sorry, Jack,
director.
but you
Yes,
don't get
give
any
me
points from
more
me.
action. Shocks the person. He's like, yes, give me more fear. And and he has that little eight super eight camera on him, and just like yeah, just like he likes to get up close and personal. So I love that the description of his character is exactly like the director. So I thought it was interesting that they
Yes.
basically just copy pasted. Not that I'm complaining; it fits well for R.B. Faraday per se, but I think
It
he's a
complements him greatly, actually.
he's a neutered version though. Like he's like, well, it's still for kids, so we can't kill them. So he's like, he just likes to scare them real good. That's all I want. I
Now,
just scare you. I don't want to kill you. I just want to scare you. I want to get you spooked.
one thing I do want to mention when it came to like the Shocker on Shock Street, I've been teasing an idea for a long time of introducing Shockro,
Yeah, and I know that.
or
And
quote unquote Master Shockro.
I,
But I don't know when I'm going to be doing that. But I feel like I do want to reveal who exactly Master Shockro is.
I'm sure in the future I'll show that off. Like if they ever do bring it back. Like I've been having pictures of what you've been drawing with us, and I was kind of wanting to show it off at some point, but I didn't know when exactly would be. My whole hope was that they'll bring it back in a special book, but I don't know the whole context of what's going on with that right now, so I don't know when I would be showing that stuff off. I mean, kind of tempted to do it here, but I don't know. But yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
but one thing I was gonna say is what interests me with the whole concept is the original bad guy, I guess, in the actual book was um Wright, I think Aaron Wright. No, what was his name? I know it was Wright, but I didn't know what his first name was.
no, I know who you're talking about.
Just
He was
Mr.
like the
Wright, right? But anyways, what was funny about that guy is that he's like, well, we already have a robotics guy, so let's have him there, and he just so happens to be named Shock. I'm like, yes, that's
that was a
perfect.
really
I
funny
love it.
concept.
Yeah. And I love that they basically tied this in from the last update, which was the horrible update. The like went to a horrible update to a good update, like the great update. Slappy King of Horror Town. He's fucking so full of himself. I know, I'll have someone film my my
I'll
accomplishments.
have someone film my escapades. And then meanwhile, R.B.Farraday is just like doing his own thing. It's like, hey, how about you point that camera at me, huh? Come
Yeah, why don't you
on,
do this? Like,
where you
do this role. I was
going?
like, ooh, I like that. He's like, yeah, go off, puppet. I'm doing my own shit.
Yeah, I kind of like
I'm
imagine
making
like,
my grandiose, like my masterpiece. My what's that word? There's that word. It's like your
magnum
magnum
opus.
opus. That's it. My magnum opus. uh,
Like I can imagine like Slappy is just like walking or supposedly walking with Faraday, just going on this tangent about how he's the greatest and some other narcissistic crap. Meanwhile, like R.B. Faraday gets distracted with something scary and he just like goes up to find it. And
yeah.
then he's like, and Slappy's still like walking by talking, and then he turns around and finds he's missing.
I love some of the Easter eggs in there too. Like his vehicle that comes with is his RB Faraday's truck, I think it is, or something like that. That's a nod to two
Well,
things which I
it was
mentioned.
just labeled as it was just labeled as R.B. Faraday.
Yeah, I know. I mean, there was there's supposed to be a name with that, but that was back then when they didn't do any better. But what was funny about it is that I made a point that there's two nods to this reference of this. It's one of them is that it's based on Maximum Overdrive with the
Yeah,
Green Goblin car, but the skull
yeah,
on the actual car is from the actual episode with the little cart.
yeah. I
I'm like,
I
that's
remember that.
for I love them. They're putting that stuff in there, like little Easter eggs, and then also doing little stuff like the beast with three brains and kind of like showing what visualization what that would look like, or like the vampire king or Kunga, it's just like all this
Yeah, the
weird
vampire.
stuff. Making it into a roller coaster. I love the idea of the roller coaster thing where it's like the tram, which is like this weird, like he goes in and out, so you can make this weird long tram thing, and I'm just like, this is perfect.
Yeah,
And then
I
I
think.
guess,
Go
sorry,
ahead.
we have our first freemium character that we got that actually was good or worth a damn, which was Aaron, right?
Yeah,
Shocker, shocks made up daughter. I think he
sucker.
ended up becoming soft after that, though. I think he became like more like a dad, like especially when it came to like, hey, Dad, this is my friend Marty. Really, Marty? I
It's like,
mean,
ew, you're friends with
I could have,
this
you
kid.
could have. I mean, I expected more from you, Aaron. And I love it too because Marty was like this dink, and he's just like, oh, hot girl. Oh, I don't know what I'm
Oh
feeling. Is
yeah.
this love? And
I
yeah,
mean,
I love
even
it
though he
too.
had
Like,
like that weird feeling with like Brooke too, where he became like I guess
yeah, but then that version,
semi
he was.
intellectual.
Yeah, in that version, he was like influenced by Love Potion, and it only lasted for a little bit.
No, no, no,
So,
no. This was like before. No, like the love potion. He actually felt no. Yeah, he actually I think fell in love with Becky or something.
no, that was the thing. But I'm talking about like the Love Potion was also from the Calling All Creeps episode, which was a tie-in to the Be Careful What You Wish For with Greg.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
I was trying
see,
to like
so yeah,
recollect
there's two incidents with this whole thing happened. So yeah, you're not wrong. That's another
that. Okay,
post in the question with another demon we'll have like we talked about before, which is just its own.
There's too
But
many goddamn love potions in this goddamn game.
that's speaking of what do you call it? That I love the censored version of that.
I have had it with these monkey fighting snakes on this Monday to Friday plane.
It's like what the
Monday to
fuck?
Friday.
Way to make a PG sucky. Oh my god.
But
Uh,
I think the one thing that really upset me about the Shocker on Shock Street episode was the lack of giant mantids, or even the lack of Wolf Boy and Wolf Girl.
too much
Like
money.
the mantises, yeah,
This-
I get that the mantises would probably cost a lot, but you could have done the costume shit with Wolf Boy and Wolf Girl, you know?
Or at worst, do the evil ant version. Like, just to film a praying mantis and just kind of like, oh no, it's a giant mantis.
Yeah, just rework the ants from Awesome Ants.
There you go. That's how you do it. Yeah, I don't know. It's just it's an interesting episode. I mean, it's I don't
Or have
know.
like the close up, or have like a close up green screen thing of like the mantis from like from Swarm and Norman or some shit.
Oh my god, yeah.
I know
Uh,
that they came out in like 2 separate years, but like
yeah.
you
So
know,
why?
it's Goosebumps. They've done like close up green screen insects before. I mean, come
The
on.
Wolf Boy and Wolf Girl. Speaking of it's an interesting design they went with, but I honestly feel like I think part of me feels like a part of it was like going in the FNAF route, especially with like they actually had a nightmare toy Freddy advertising for the drive-in theater,
Yeah,
which I love, by the way, because you can position it in such a way that you can have R.B.Farraday just actually go to the theater and go, "Yay, woo!" clapping at his own film.
yeah, just cheering over shit.
I love that.
Like,
That's beautiful.
now I will say that I do like how they incorporated Wolf Boy and Wolf Girl, but at the same time, I don't really like their design. Like, I
Yeah,
get
I'm
that
not a
they're
fan of
kind
the
of
design
inspired by
either.
Foxy from. I know that they were kind of inspired by Foxy, but their eyes make them look too futuristic. So when I made,
I honestly think what it is that they did the inspirations with Foxy, but they also did the inspiration too. If you're familiar with Super Jail, are you familiar with the robot?
I haven't watched Super Jail, but I am familiar with the series.
Okay, so you're familiar with the robot assistant they had there? That's the
No.
screen they had the idea for the eyes and all that stuff.
Well, when I redesigned Wolf Boy and Wolf Girl, I decided to actually make them look like FNAF animatronics.
They
And
made them all
in later
furry.
iterations of their design, I decided to do a glam rock approach, not like full on '80s aesthetic or anything, but heavily inspired by Roxanne Wolf because
Oh
she's the
no.
only wolf animatronic that.
Speaking of, that just
No,
reminds me. Verbalace decided to do. This guy to go all in. It's just
oh
like,
yeah,
screw, fuck
yeah.
it. Yeah, Roxanne Wolf. You're
I
just
will admit
hot.
the
No,
voice actress
sorry.
for
What?
Roxanne Wolf in that video is almost spot on.
It's good to. I'm just surprised because they actually had an actual person do the like actual robot movements, and I'm just like, that's actually fucking good, cool. But yeah, no, he's fully embracing it. It's just like, you know what, this fucking thing blew off. Yeah, fuck it. Good for him.
I mean, I got memed.
It
I
wasn't
got
bad.
memed to like the next.
It wasn't bad music
I
either.
got yeah.
He's playing that role though. He's just like all the girls are after me, but I don't want anything to do with them. Please, no. There's
I think that's like a kink of his or something.
yeah, it's like I wouldn't call it harem, but it's something similar to that. You know what I mean? It's like all the girls love this one guy, and the guy's like, "Oh no, please." Kind of reminds me of the old
Don't
man.
do it.
Oh no, please,
I'm a
please, I'm a
virgin.
virgin.
Or like when like Chip Skylark was
Don't
running away
do
from all the screaming fans.
it. Yeah. Uh,
Yeah, it's something like that to me as well.
uh, don't do it.
But no, I'm a
No, no,
virgin.
please don't
But
do it. I'm
anyway,
a virgin.
the idea I had with Master Shockro was that he was supposed to be one of the giant mantises, like
Yeah,
bigger than the others.
yeah,
But he had like a superior AI that controlled the other robots of Shocker Studios.
yeah. So
And
it would have been an
R.B.
interesting
Faraday
idea.
was like a little yeah, and R.B. Faraday was like a little patsy to him.
Yeah, that'd be interesting though to see that. Yeah, it's curious to see exactly what the storyline and all that stuff that kind of went through it, just because it was all over. It wasn't really all over the place. It was interesting because it made me wonder what was his story idea anyways. It was just like he just like instead like, hey, look, I got this giant mantis. Let me control it. Let me go attack your perfect android, Aaron. And he's like, look how cool this looks. Isn't that right, Sock? He's like, I don't want to look. I ripped her arm
Um,
off.
and I also had like a plot point idea where like the only reason why Faraday was like recording scary stuff to try and scare his audiences was that for the reason is that Master Shockro takes in that information to see what people are afraid of most, and then use that against people as like a means of like world domination.
Turns out it was turns out it was man.
Oh yeah,
Turns out it was
like
death, the unknown. Yeah, yeah.
like I would say that the most scariest thing on Earth would probably be mankind, because if I had to choose between being possessed by a demon or come face to face with like a deranged psychopath, I think I'd want to be possessed by the demon.
Yeah, at least you'd get superpower. I don't know. I don't know how we
I don't
feel
know
about
about
that though.
that. I mean,
But yeah,
I've never been possessed by a demon before, so I don't know how that
they
works.
they
But
they had by the way, with part of that storyline, they also teased one of Curly's animations with him losing his head. It's just like, animatronics, boom, my head, come here, body. Because they were in the dark, and he's just like, apparently he was just in the dark too. And then Aaron just used a karate kick, and his head popped. Could get a break. Where are you coming? It's like, where are you doing my crib?
it's like, hey, you're making like I can imagine like that scene in like Smiling Friends where like Curly bursts in with like as like Joel Havel's like, hey, I have Slappy over. We're trying to like narrate a
What?
story, and you're being super loud.
Loud.
You're being super loud.
Yeah, that was a show too. I mean, yeah. God. Oh my God, dude. Oh my God, there's the dome.
What is that?
What am I looking at? I don't know, man. I don't.
That's a 100%.
I feel sick. We need to take this to a grave. We'll not tell anybody about this.
Pim, we need to take this to the graves. This changes everything. This literally changes everything.
It's funny too. There's a green screen of that, so they could just be playing it right now. They're
Yeah.
watching this like, what am I looking
Oh, that's
at? What am I looking at?
John, that's not a myth, is it? Oh my god, I can't believe it. The Earth is flat, dude. The Earth is flat. Look, there's the glass dome.
There's a
Dude.
glass dome. Yeah, that whole series was great. I love that. Especially they gave a lot of love to Alan, because a lot of people's first complaint was like Alan wasn't really in the first season. They're like, all right, here's your Alan stuff. It's like we got an episode full of Alan. Hey,
I
hey,
love
go, give
Alan.
me a
Like,
sec, man. What do you want? All right, asshole. It's like, what, you call me an asshole? Yeah, I called you an asshole.
yeah, I called you an asshole because you're being an asshole.
Hey, what did I tell you to stop doing this?
Armzo, what? Why you stop filling up that shelf? I forgot that
Yeah,
part. But
yeah,
it's
yeah.
like
Just like you have
at the end,
paper
then you have
clips.
that.
Actually, no, we just ran out. Do you know where we can find one? Well, there is that guy who sells open. Okay.
Well,
Yeah,
there's
thanks.
a
Thanks for
computer
that. Yeah,
repair
thanks.
shop
Bye.
with
Bye. Bye.
crime. It's like an Armzo. If you mess up again, you're going back to the psych ward. And then
Hey,
like Alan has that like fucking smirk on his
smirk,
face,
the
like,
fucking
yeah,
smirk on his
you're
face.
true.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, bye. Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, asshole. It's like, yeah, bye.
Bye, spider. Bye,
Bye.
spider.
Bye.
Keep
Bye.
stacking.
Bye.
Keep
Bye.
stacking. Keep
Bye.
stacking.
This is the perfect thing I needed for my. It's like this is a stupid question, but do you try your nose? I never tried it before, but
I don't.
yeah, maybe I could. Oh, I could give it a shot. Oh my god! Oh my god! It worked! I never seen this before in my life. It changed everything. Of course, you could take this.
This actually works better than the paper clips.
The paperclip could be used for anything else. By the way, this is not a vision. I actually died when you left. All right, I'm going to hell now.
Yes. And the fucking
I love it.
landlord.
The
Oh,
landlord. Yeah, it's just like I was wondering
yeah,
if you'd
they
be
did like
able
a
to play
green
the
screen of the fucking landlord too. You know that?
Yeah, and by the way, that was referencing some old video on YouTube where some landlord guys was like, I just want you to, I was wondering if you want to play this and doing some type to show that while playing on this on the PS2.
Oh. Hello, Alan. I was wondering if you want to smoke some weed and fill up bellies up with diet soda and play Burnout Revenge for the PS.
Tell you too. I did this whole elaborate scheme and wasted thousands of millions of dollars just so I can get you right here in the palm of my hands. We love getting off topics, don't we? Especially
Yeah, that's
Bill
fun.
Nye dying in the fuck. Death
Especially
is
in that
scary
same
and all.
scene, he mentions that he like especially in the same scene, he mentions that he used like paid actors and animatronics. So now we can segue back into
There we go.
Shock
Yeah,
Not
there
Shock.
we go. Paid actors and animatronics. Mm, good. The last episode was great too, by the way, with the Slash, he's just no man or something like that. Hey man, it's me, Bill Nye, the science guy.
Death isn't scary at all. Death isn't scary at all.
I love, yeah, I
Sorry,
love.
sorry.
Hey, I just gotta notice it. You gotta help Jeff go. Jeff, no, whatever his name is from the Subway guy. I'm just kidding. It's just like, dude, that's not funny. Yeah, he's a pedophile.
Oh, oh
Like, I
yeah,
get the joke, man, but
uh,
that's not funny, man.
Jerry Fogel.
Jerry Fogel, that's it. Yeah.
You get the privilege of helping out Jerry
I
Fogel.
love it
And
too,
they
by the
just
way,
they have
with
like
the season 2, I love the callbacks because they brought back a lot of things like little jokes that
yeah,
they have in the side, like the fact that Pim can speak Spanish, and also the fact that
yeah,
Alan ate Charlie's nose at one point, and he's just like, I'm just gonna throw this out here, dude. That one moment you put the nose, like, what? I did that? Yeah, you did. I don't remember that. It's like, yeah, you did.
yeah. Last time we hung out, you kind of sucked on my nose. Wait,
What?
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 Yeah,
I don't
like it
remember
was
that.
like during the
Yeah, you
whole it
did.
was during the whole Desmond Blipley situation. You just kind of just sucked on my nose. I don't remember even doing that. Well, yeah, it happened.
I love that they got the guy from Metal Media in there for the first episode. Oh, I'm just gonna kill myself. Okay, bye.
Yeah.
Okay, but if you don't do it, I'm gonna fucking kill myself and make you two watch. Okay, I'm not sure about the
Yeah.
last part, but yay! This the fight in the fight of the family. It's like, does not want me to kill myself? Ah, great idea, Pip.
This is supposed to help me not want to kill myself.
Well, Pip, do you have anything you want to do, or are we done here? Do you have anything you want to show? How about that?
Yeah, how about
Nothing
that?
on that? Yeah.
What?
I mean, it's cool, I guess. Doesn't make me feel better. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. Okay. Uh, there's backtrack to Shocker. All right.
Is there anything else about Shocker that we can talk about?
Uh, I love the fact that they kind of started doing tie-ins to like near the end of the episode that they would actually go ahead and tell people, "Hey, this is the next thing coming up," right? And
Yeah,
in this case, it was to the haunted school that may or may not be significant next episode. I don't know.
yeah. I think the way
Oh,
they teased it was like Mrs. Mark threatened to turn Faraday's
I'm
film
gonna
black
take.
and
I'm
white
gonna
when
talk
she
to
was
Mr.
like, up-
Chameleon, and I'm like, how does that make
yeah, it was
sense?
like.
Your film was black and white anyways. What the fuck are you talking? All right, whatever.
Also, wouldn't the black and white theme be a lot more aesthetically pleasing
Yeah,
in
wouldn't
a
it be
snuff film?
cool? Yeah. Or you could do the Sin City thing where everything's black and white except for certain colors, and it'd be like, ooh, it pops like the blood.
Yeah,
It's,
exactly.
there you
That
go.
way you could show your audience that it's not fucking chocolate syrup.
Yeah, it's not chocolate syrup, it's blue. Nah, but yeah, so there's that. I love his animations too, by the way. His animation was great. He was game breaking when he first came out. He was just like, yeah, if you have him, you basically just win the event. You get the last prize, which is actually cool. It's like he has animations and everything like that. It's like, yeah, that's fun. The first time,
I
by the way,
remember
they
there
had
was like
buildings that actually had animations, which that was great. It was like, oh wow, I'm glad.
I remember I remember this one game breaking thing where like I think it was like Faraday's truck and Aaron's thing started giving up like dollars.
Oh yeah, I remember that. It's like, whoa, 62 Goosebumps. Oh yeah. Yeah,
Yeah, they got rid of that, but I thought that was actually pretty interesting.
sadly, but yeah, that's just what it is. I'm trying to think if
Yeah.
there's anything else from that update that was interesting to talk about as far as, hmm. I don't know. I mean, Faraday seemed to be the big topic. I mean, Aaron was great too for, being a free character and all that stuff. And her animations were also kind of classic. They inspired the whole look of her from I think Android. God, what's
Yeah,
her name?
Android 18.
18. That's it. Android 18. I love it too, by the way, because I think at one point, like she's like, "Hey, oh, like Krillin is just like, hey, here's my daughter." It's just like, how is that possible? It's like she's an android. She's not a fucking robot. Not everything a part of her is not like a robot. Damn it! It's like, oh.
Well, technically, that would be considered a cyborg because an android is just basically a humanoid robot.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, man. That was a joke they kind of put out there. Yeah.
But yeah, that's shocker on Shock Street, I guess.
There you go. There's Shocker on Shock Street. Yay!
Like
Update.
one of the only good events, like one of the better events of like 2020.
I love the fact that Aaron's scared animation or scaring animation is simply just being a Tasmanian devil and just kind of ping pong her way over with different people. Like bing, bing, bing.
Oh yeah.
Originally, there was a
Uh,
scare animation with her, but it looked so goofy that they're like, nah, we'll just do this thing. This is better. That's
I
why there
know
was no
that.
scare animation or like her stopping and
So
doing a scare.
the reason why we picked Shocker on Shock Street for this event because it was a book that had a Series 2000 tie-in with it, and that's kind of segueing into the next topic, which is pretty much
Which,
the same thing.
yeah, which we're going to be talking about, right? Give us, hold on. About now. Yeah, I think about now we'll do it because screw it. All right, here we go, folks. So the whole Garfield thing, the thing here. Part of the reason too is that this is going to be a book theme that not like although it's the theme one particular book, it has an element of another book, which is again, like you said, a series 2000, which also has elements of this show version of this. Had it so that it was basically a filming of an episode that's of the same name, which
Ooh, meta.
is meta. It's a very meta episode. Meta episode, meta book, but it's not really focusing on that particular book. It's focusing on something else. It's actually focusing on a choose your own adventure book, which is entitled.
A Knight of 1,000 Claws.
Yes, not to be confused with anything else. not to be confused with Claws or Cry of the Cat. I mean, Cry of the Cat is included, but not Claws.
Now, the reason why I picked this one in specific is mainly because it two things. One, it involves cats, obviously,
It's
and
because furries.
two,
What the fuck? No!
what? No, there's no what?
Well, I mean, the cover art.
What? What the fuck? No, I just that's not
No!
the reason why I picked Knight
What
of
the
1,000 Claws to go with Cry of the
What
Cat.
the fuck?
What are you talking
No!
about? Like, oh yeah, I totally picked this for furries. Like, bro, what?
That whole moment, it reminds me of that one scene. It's just like, what the fuck? No!
Dude, what the Anyway, so the idea that the reason why I picked Knight of 1,000 Claws to be alongside with Cry of the Cat was not only because of the cat theme, but also the concept of necromancy.
Which is actually kind of cool, especially with the whole theme with Cry of the Cat being involved with this. I just want to step in real quick, sorry, before we go on. That whole clip with the what the fuck no. That guy also did something else that's similar to from the topic we were talking about with the Shocker on Sock Street, where he was playing FNAF 2. He gets to see Chica, he screams.
She is such a bad bitch, though. I will fuck the shit out of that robot, man. I'm not even.
I remember that.
She's a bad bitch, though. I fucked the shit out of that robot. Anyway, sorry.
But yeah, there's actually elements of necromancy in both books.
Yes, there's a theme. It's almost like it almost reminds me of Pet Cemetery in a sense.
Well,
We'll
funny you bring that up because I did add a little bit of Pet Cemetery into the whole ordeal.
Mm.
But instead of calling it necromancy, in this, it's actually referred to as necomancy.
Oh, aren't you funny? Aren't
Yeah,
you cute?
all right.
Aren't you cute? Oh, you and Pixel will fit right in. You're the dad pun.
Ain't I a stinker?
Okay, because it's cats and meow. I will.
So the character that you get for this event is Katrina Mad.
Nice. I do
Uh,
like that. Is she gonna be human or is she also a monster? Like, what?
she's just mostly going to be in her werecat form, which is like a calico with like cheetah hair or something.
I'm surprised no one's gonna point that out. It's like, it's like you got a lot of these people pretend to be human. It's like here comes this cat woman, literally walking around. They're just like, yeah, okay, sure, why not?
Well,
We already got a
she calls it
giant
as
beast, so why not?
yeah, she calls it cosplay, quote unquote.
Oh, that's her excuse.
Yeah,
Cool costume.
it's kind of like
Thanks.
it's kind of like it's kind of like anyone who has seen or read Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. A lot of people assume that Toru's dragon horns and maid outfit is just all part of like a cosplay sort of thing. So I kind of just went with that.
Okay, yeah, that's like I'm really into the whole thing. It's like, wow, that looks so realistic. I spent lots of money on it. Spent lots of money. I can't take it off because it took too long to put on.
Yeah. I sleep with this on, by the way. Okay.
I might act
Anyway,
like don't if I
so
start purring and start acting like a cat, don't worry, I'm method acting. I'm just pretending to be the character in the role. That don't fear yourself of it. If I start throwing hairballs, again, method acting.
oh, and if I have the need to want to bathe myself with my tongue, don't watch. It's rude.
I have my I have my privacy, thank you very much. I hate Mondays too, by the way. Don't ask me on a Monday. That's my me day.
Oh, now that actually kind of reminds me, I recently watched a video called Detective Heart of America.
Yeah?
It was like this movie made by Film Cow,
Okay.
and like he comes across like a bunch of quote unquote native civilizations, which just is just like a troupe of actors who got lost in the forest. And
Nice.
one of the people he comes across is like someone who like specializes in tying knots.
Yeah.
And he's like and they're like showing him all these different like forbidden knots, like the napping knot, the coffee knot, the tiger knot, and lasagna knot. It's like, hey, wait a minute, these are all things Garfield likes. And then they're like, oh, you have solved the knot riddle. It's like, god damn it, Garfield still exists.
Yeah. Garfield did the You know what's funny? Garfield is a part of the lore as well in Goosebumps. And I'm not talking about Mrs. Mars' cat, who happened to also be a tabby. I'm actually talking
Oh yeah,
about
you're talking about like the Pookie, right?
Pookie, yes. There's Pookie in the game. And one of the I think also in the Junk Bros headquarters, it also is there. But Pookie is in the toy store area, if you look
Yeah.
carefully. And it's cute because it's a little nod to the fact that they did the Garfield game at one point. It's like, oh, that's cute. I'm sure that's why they included them in there. Kind of like
One of
how
the
kind of like how Disney, when he takes over old rides, that they would put like, or not even Disney, but also Universal did this too. When they closed down certain rides, they put little Easter eggs from the former rides and the new rides pack, right? Like for example, when Krusty Land came into the Simpsons ride, they made a mention of like Krusty coming over to Doc Brown's lab and basically just took over it.
I mean, given Krusty's character, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, definitely.
It's like,
But
get the hell off my ride now, it's mine.
at least he's not. At least he's not Binky. God, that
Anyway,
clown scares me.
so
Can't sleep. Clown will eat me.
anyway, the currency is going to be catnip leaves.
Okay.
Yeah. and it's important that the catnip is actually going to be very important in the story. Now, I will say that I don't exactly have the story written down fully, but I do have a basic understanding of how it's going to go down.
That's fine. As long as there's a like, I did the same thing. It can't be.
Yeah.
It won't be like all of them can be like Batwing Hall, right? Which is fine.
Yeah. So there are four special buildings.
Okay.
So the first one is called the Cat K Cafe,
All right. Is
and the
this?
Cat K Cafe
Sorry, you
is
go.
the crafting shop.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry, I'm interrupting. I'll shut up.
So yeah, the Cat K Cafe is the crafting shop, and it's gonna look like a cat cafe that's like very warm and welcoming, and cutesy and all that. But you also see ghostly, shadowy cats at the back of the building.
Would you say that it's a bit of Japanese oriented, like kawaii type of thing? Like you would see something like you would.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, I
Yeah.
am going to say that it is that kind of cat cafe.
Makes me wonder. Would you say that Katrina here would actually be maybe Japanese? I mean, it's hard to say because she's an actual like a cat-ish type thing, but it would be interesting if that's where her origin kind of came from to kind of be like, oh, that makes sense with the whole cat
Yeah,
like obsession
yeah,
kawaii.
something like the yokai Neko Musume.
Yeah, exactly. That'd be interesting too, and that would give you an excuse to kind of get the go lucky cat symbol. I don't know if that's the case, but you've had
Yeah,
like a lucky cat like item thing going on
the
there.
beckoning cat, as it's
Yeah.
called.
Oh, okay. So I
Yeah,
think I pretty see what you're going
yeah.
with this.
But I don't know if it's established where Cat K is in
I
the
mean,
Night of a Thousand Claws.
that's the beauty of it. You could just make it wherever you want it to. It
Yeah.
could be in
So
Japan.
I
Why
guess
not?
I can make it a Japanese location if I
I
wanted
mean,
to.
they have Cat Island in Japan, so why not?
This is true. This is true. This is true. Anyway, the next one is Katrina's cottage. This is the cottage where Katrina and Mad lives in.
Okay.
The next one is called the Necromancy Sigil,
Okay.
and it is a graveyard that has gravestones of dead pets surrounding a ritualistic sigil made to look like a cat head.
No, okay.
Uh, Shadowy cats can be seen, and this scene spawns Katrina Mega. That's like the larger cat version of Katrina Mad.
Okay.
Rip the cat, and three of Rip's minions.
You know, it'd be cool if it's hard to say because this is a scene, right? It's not like a decoration item, but it would be actually cool to have like little animations of like the ghost cats, like you were talking about, or shadows type of thing, like almost like what happened with the 12 Scream of Christmas item, if you know what I'm talking
Yeah,
about. But I don't think it'd
yeah.
be possible because it's a scene, and I think they only do that to decorations or scare decorations. So I don't know. Maybe
Well,
it's possible, but I have never
it does
seen.
like you know how you get how in recent events you get the scare scenes after the during the monster key thing
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
when you get like
When you
stuff.
buy all three packs.
This Yeah, this one will be animated, but it will also go under a different name called Cat K Cemetery.
Okay.
Let's see. The next one, or the last one, is the event only supplier, which is the Mad Kit Teapot.
Okay.
It's going to look like a teapot with cat aesthetics on it.
Okay, so it's just a giant teapot with cat stuff. Or it could be a cat teapot. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm sure there's pictures of that. I'm sure there's someone who
Yeah,
made a cat teapot of some kind.
yeah. And it drops a Mad Kit teacup, and it
And that's
is
the raw item?
yeah, that's the raw item.
Okay.
Yeah, the kitty cups are the raw item. The suppliers are just simply referred to as Mad Kitty cups, which is a tea set made to look like cats.
Okay.
So it's got the teapot, it's got some cups everywhere, it's got like a creamer and sugar and all that stuff.
So like a teapot, like a little almost a
A tea tray
tea
with
street, yeah. Okay.
teaware.
Okay.
So the next one is decoration. So the first one we have is the Cat K Lighthouse.
Okay.
This one is the grand prize animated item.
So that's a premium one that you get, right, at the end?
Yes.
Okay.
It is referred to as the Cat K Lighthouse, and this is a lighthouse with swarming cat ghosts circling the tower, and the lights move like the lighthouse in the promenade.
That'd be
It will have a
that
few stones around.
that sounds so cool to see. It kinda it'd be
So
even
yeah, if you
cooler if
wanted
you
to
could
have
put that in the ocean.
like, the next one is called the catnip bush, which is
You
just a bush made of catnip.
I was about to say so too, it's just like, you call that a lighthouse? This is a lighthouse. It's bigger than
Yeah.
yours.
The next one is called the Grimalkin statue.
The what statue?
The Grimalkin.
Why does it sound so
So
why does it sound so familiar?
So the Grimalkin, as far as I believe, I don't remember which part of the mythos it was. I think it might be Gaelic or something, but it is believed to be a witch who is able to shapeshift into a cat.
Oh my god, I'm named after a witch that could turn into a cat? The fuck? Why am I
Well, here's
doing
the
this
thing. It's
now?
actually it's actually pronounced Grimalkin,
Okay,
not
oh,
Grimo. So you're fine.
why did those tell
Your
me?
name is
Oh,
all.
I've been making an idiot of myself. Oh god. Sorry.
So I actually have like a reference of what it looks like, and there are like an actual statue based on this thing.
Oh, okay. So it's probably just going to be like from this the copy of the statue, which is normal. I've seen people do that where it's just like, hey, take this real life item, just turn it into the game. It's like, okay, that's
Yeah,
easy.
pretty much. The
Copyright
next one is called
infringement.
the pet. The next one is called the pet stone.
Okay,
And this one is just a headstone of a dead pet.
all right. That's sad, but
Uh, yeah, it's pretty on the nose, but yeah. Next one is called Ripstone. So this is a headstone that belongs to Rip the cat, and it's an animated one where it says it's an eerie headstone with glowing blue fire.
yeah. It'd be funny, by the way. It's very odd, like very unknown that this would happen, but it'd be interesting if you place this down and then you have Rip the cat just walking around as an NPC, just like how Mars Cat is. And they don't
Yeah,
tell you. They don't tell you this. He's just there. He's like, what? What the fuck? Ma,
man,
what kind
where
of
did this
fucking cat is
demonic
this?
cat come
Ma, there's a
Ma,
weird
there's a weird fucking
strange
cat
cat
outside.
outside. It looks
It looks kind of like
it
grandma.
looks like grandma, the fucking
from? The
Who
cat
the
looks like
fuck
Tell
are
get the
you?
grandma.
fuck out of here.
There's no this.
Tell
It's
get the
okay.
fuck
It's
out.
okay. This
Blink,
weird
motherfucker.
fucking cat.
All right, so the next one is called Cat's Paradise.
All right,
Now this one is a playground where cats get to enjoy themselves. Includes toy mice, tunnels, and a scratching post.
makes sense.
The next one is called the Mad Kitty Party, and this is mad spelled with two D's like Katrina.
Okay,
This
I'm
one is
sorry.
a large table with teapots and teacups everywhere with puffing steam from the teapots. This was inspired by Alice in Wonderland.
I was about to say this is not a Cheshire cat. I'd be very disappointed.
The next one is the scratching post. That's pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah. So speaking of
Uh,
the Alice in Wonderland, it's just like it's a happy birthday. It's like what? Whose birthday is it? It's yours. It's like of course it is. It's not my birthday. Of course it's not. It's your unhappy birthday.
it's your
It's like it's
birthday.
not. It's like no. It's like oh, it's your unhappy birthday. It's like unhappy birthday. Yeah, it's the day that you're not born.
No, it's actually called Unbirthday.
The
Sorry, I'm a little.
unbirthday. Yeah. It's like my queen. It's your unbirthday. Why it is my unbirthday. I
So the
love
next
that.
one is called the Lost. Yeah, the next one is called the Lost Soul, and this is a floating cat ghost wandering around looking lost and alone.
Okay.
It doesn't do this. It doesn't like walk around with the rest of the NPCs. It's just kind of just floating there.
Yeah. It's just an item that floats there, just like the big baby chirrup.
Yeah, exactly. Uh, the next one is called the Necromancy Circle, a large glyph on the ground with candles and an image of a cat's skull in the middle.
Okay, that's kind of morbid, but okay.
The next ones are a series of plushies. One of them is
Of course.
the Cheshire Cat. Yeah, one of them is the Cheshire Cat plushie.
Okay.
Yeah, just to tie in with the Mad Tea Party shit.
I can totally
The
see
next one,
that.
yeah, the next one is the Calico Cat plushie.
Okay.
Next one is the Tabby Cat plushie. And I kind of feel like I want, because of
Make
our
it
talk of
Garfield.
Garfield, I kind of want to suspiciously make it look like Garfield, you know?
Yeah. He has to look like Garfield, or else it's just like, no, it's just not gonna work. Especially how marketable Garfield is. It's just like he just puts his shit on everything. It's just like, yeah, no, he has to be Garfield. You don't
Yeah.
have to say it's Garfield, but he's like, we all know.
The next one is Black Cat plushie, and this one kind of stands out a little, as this one is, it's got like a little witch's hat on it.
Oh, cute.
And lastly is a Rip plushie. So this is a large plushie of Rip the cat.
No Katrina plushie, but the Rip gets a plushie. Why is Rip so
Well,
special? I guess we're gonna find out, but yeah.
so the items are that the raw item is going to be the kitty cup.
Yeah, you've talked
So
about that, yeah.
so there are two sets of items with this event. One of them is the kitty set, and the other one is the I'm going to say the cat K set.
Okay.
So the kitty set includes so kitty cup rhyme, kitty pot,
Mm-hmm.
which requires 3 of the teacups as well as a sports drink.
Okay.
Now, the reason why I picked sports drink is that it's the only container that has liquid in it, and that's exactly basically what a teapot is, container with liquid in it.
Yeah. You drink some sports drink. It's like you want to eat? Nah, sports drink.
We got that fucking Caterade right there.
I get speed.
It's healthy for humans and cats. No dogs though.
Nah, screw you. If you're a dog,
Anyway,
screw you. Get out.
you if you're a dog.
These
But
mutant
cats, you're totally welcome to have it.
stupid
Just like
dog.
fucking animal. Yeah, just have like fucking
Poor
animal
Courage.
races. Anyway, the next one is called Kitty Tray. So this requires 3 kitty cups, 1 kitty pot, and a tin can telephone.
Okay, yeah, I can see that. Why so many cups?
Uh,
I get because the cups are raw. It's just, sometimes you just think about it, just like why do you need so much? Like you have to think about it. Like, are we taking these items and turning into a new item, or are we trading these items for this item? Like you have to think about that because sometimes when you think about like making some logic behind it, sometimes you're looking at it and go, how the fuck does that make any sense? Like my
well,
rotten
the thing
dust.
is, well, the thing is with the cups, the reason why they're in such large quantities is that it's supposed to be based on standard teaware where you have at least like 3 to 4 or even 5 cups in a set.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's kind of why I picked like 3.
Okay. See, I kind of figured that, but I wanted to say it just so that the audience doesn't go ahead and try to make a smart ass comment about it. Like, how come you need to do that? It doesn't make any sense. So shut up, you.
Uh, the next one is called Kitty Set. So this requires 3 cups, 2 teapots, and 1 kitty tray.
Okay.
And the last of this set is called Adhesive Gum. So this is the only outlier of the kitty set.
Yeah, adhesive gut. What the fuck?
That's actually a thing in the book. It's called Adhesive Gum.
Okay,
So
okay.
this requires, yeah, this requires the kitty pot, the kitty tray, and the kitty set.
To make gum.
I know it sounds weird, but
Well, I mean,
I've
I'm
heard
just
weird
saying because you make questions about my stupid thing. I'm just paying back the favor. That's all.
All right, next is the cat
You
case
make
set.
this to make what the fuck? How does that make work?
So next is the cat case set.
Yeah.
Um, so the first one is called cat collar.
Okay.
This requires 1 kitty cup and rubber tires.
Okay.
So the next one is called cat life, and this requires 1 kitty cup and ectoplasm.
Oh, I'm sure everyone's gonna love that.
The next one is called enchanted cat fur, and
Okay.
yes, that is also a thing in the book.
Yeah. I can see that.
This requires the teacup and enchantment words. So that's kind of self-explanatory as to why that is.
Yeah.
And the last one is Cat K amulet. So this requires 3 of the cat fur, 3 collars, and 3 cat lives.
Yeah. Part of me just wants to be like, maybe I'll think about this, but I'm thinking maybe I bring the gnome pipe into the crafting at some point. Just so the meme.
So, so the characters that you're mostly going to see are Katrina Mad and 2 separate NPCs. One of them is Rip the cat, an undead cat with demonic traits, revived by Katrina Mad by a necromantic spell. And then there's the Cat Cave ghosts, spirits of dead cats summoned to obey the commands of Katrina Mad and Rip.
Now I'm curious about how the story goes to go, but I'm wondering if there's anything else before we get to the story, though. Like, I guess.
Yeah, there's animations,
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
animations and quests and stuff.
So what's the
So
generic?
there's
Here, do you do this task to get cups?
yeah, that would be Mrs. Marg, which is Kitty Cup of Tea, which requires the Tea Party set.
Okay.
Then there's Dustin with Play with the Kitties,
For Mrs.
which
Mars, does she? I swear, can she interact with Mr. Muffins?
yeah, Mr. Muffin would be sitting next to her at the Tea Party set.
Okay, because I was about to say, it's like, you want some tea, Mr. Muffins?
Mr. Muffin does actually make an appearance
Oh yeah,
in
I
the
know he
dialogue.
does. He does. He does. Oh, he does actually appear in the dialogue.
Yeah, I'll save
Nice.
that
We
for a
get
later
that.
time.
We actually get to see an actual portrait of Mr. Muffins finally. He's not just an
Yeah,
NPC
exactly.
character. He's not an animation character that Aaron and Mrs. Mara interact with.
Yeah.
You know what's weird too is I think he was also interacting with Andrew Craw before in the beta, but then they were like, oh, it's too morbid for him to throw a cat down, so it's like, let's just do a ghost cat.
Yeah.
Same cat. I mean, it's one of his. It's probably one of his lives. He's just fucking around with it. It's like, oh, cat.
So Lucy has Play with the Kitties, and I inspired this a little bit from Trailer Park Boys with Bubbles.
Oh god. Here, kitty.
I'm gonna play with the kitties now. This is
It's
Mr.
me.
Butt shit.
It's me, Mr. Bubbles. Are you
Over
fucking
here,
good,
stinker
Jimmy?
later.
Oh god, wait for the Sam Squatch. Forget me to take
You fucking Sam Squatch, that's what that was. Oh, shit, boys.
I can imagine
Anyway,
that Bubbles in HorrorTown. It's like a fucking Sam Scratch outside the window. It's like
there's a
it's just
big
a
ass
neighbor.
Sam Squatch. He's like pointing at the abominable snowman. That's a
Hey,
big ass Sam Squatch right there.
hey, how you doing? Roar. Oh, that's Fluffy. Fluffy, you named it.
Oh, and, and then I can imagine like the abominable snowman drops one of the other snowmen from like Snowman Mountain over to over to the people. It just acts like the fucking Yeti from like Smiling Friends.
I know he's the abominable snowman, but he kind of like the abominable snow monkey.
Anyway, Lucy also has Investigate Katrina's Cottage.
Okay.
This one is a little bit unique as this one drops the adhesive gum.
Oh, okay. So interesting. Sorry.
So Mr. Mortman has Keep the Cats Away
Mm-hmm.
because he doesn't like cats.
Yeah,
And that's just
is
him
it because he's
inside
allergic to
the
him?
sure, why not?
I mean that would make sense. It's like he goes on the date with Mrs. Mara and he just like starts sneezing. He's like, oh fuck, I didn't know you had him. What's wrong with Mr.
Oh god,
Muffins? It's
he's
just
here.
like he starts hyping up. I can't be here. I'm gonna die.
Yeah, he's like puffs. He puffs up like he has like the mumps or some shit.
Or oh god, okay. A weird movie to pop up, but Box Trolls. You familiar with that?
I am familiar with it, but I haven't watched it.
Oh, okay. I was about to say the villain had like this cheese allergy, and every time he just puffs up, and it's just like, can you imagine that happened to Morton with cats? It's just like he just fucking
Hey,
pops up like a balloon.
have you ever heard of Tough Puppy?
Yes.
Okay, have you ever heard of the villain Venomous Snaptrap?
Yes, he's the best one. The best guy.
Yeah, he has a fucking cheese allergy, weirdly enough.
Yeah. That's ironic
Yeah.
coming from him. That's sad. You're a rat and you can't eat cheese? That sucks. No wonder he's a
Anyway,
villain. I can totally sympathize with him. Fuck.
so
Fuck my
Mrs. Dark
genetics.
and Mrs. Dark and Brooke also have play with the kitties.
Okay.
I don't know if I have Marty do anything like that. No, I don't.
Marty can fuck off this episode.
Yeah, you fuck
He's gonna
off.
be busy next
Let's
time.
see.
Not now. He can go off. He's not the type to play with cats. He's too macho. He wanted a dog for God's sakes. He's not welcome here. No dog lovers.
Get that dog lover out of here. This is a
But
cat episode, so fuck you.
yeah, what are you talking about?
Anyway,
Get out of
anyway,
here.
next we have Clarissa.
Oh, I guess that means Lucy's not available anymore. She can't come to the party. Her boyfriend's is a wolf. Get out of here, you traitor.
Clarissa has pet the cat, black cat plushie.
Oh, she actually animates that?
Yeah, and this drops the cat collar.
Okay.
The next one is the magic assistant.
Oh boy, we have him back.
This one has scared of Rip, which requires the Rip plushie, and it drops a cat life.
I wonder how the animation would look for that one.
Probably just trembling while glancing back at the plushie and just like hiding again.
The rabbit trembling or the robot the mannequin trembling like shaking about.
Mannequin.
Okay, so then the bunny's just kind of like just it's just there.
Yeah. Next one is R.B.Farraday, which is funny because we were just talking about him.
Oh boy, what is he involved with?
Film a ghost.
Okay.
This requires the lost soul, and which also drops a cat life.
Okay.
Next is Erin Wright.
Mm-hmm.
She has take a selfie, which requires a calico cat plushie,
Okay.
and
She
that drops a cat collar.
I can totally see her just like with the selfie thing that she actually takes like she has like a built-in camera on her and she's just kind of taking a
Yeah.
picture with her hand.
Yeah, I was actually kind of like thinking of like how XJ9 from like My Life as a Teenage Robot would just like randomly create like objects with her hands and just use those.
That's what I'm thinking, yeah. And it has to
Yeah.
be. It's hard to say because this is like a time bubble, but it's like it has to be '90s, so it can't be like a modern phone like some people like the twins. We're supposed to be living in an old town. What the hell is this? Get this out. Get this brand
Well,
new town.
to be fair, My Life as a Teenage Robot was based on the 50s, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, yeah. I mean that's fine. I mean
So
that's what I'm talking about. Just like so long as the technology, like if it's a Polaroid, then that would be fun too. It's just like takes a picture, flash, and then it's like it's a piece of paper comes out of her hand and just like throws it on the ground, starts taking like she's trying to take a good selfie, but it comes out bad. So he's like, I could try it again.
the next one is Trigger.
Oh boy,
This this one has him chasing cats.
we finally get an animation with him. Good boy.
Yeah, he just runs around chasing a cat soul.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, I could totally see them doing that. It's just like, well, he already has a running animation. We just shrink him down and just have him chase a ghost. That's good enough. Or you know what? They could actually just use the Wolf's Bane animation and just have a.
Well, funny you bring him up because he has the same thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, both Trigger and Wolfbane chase cats, or ghost cats technically, but it's called chasing cats.
Yeah.
And they both drop the enchanted keeper.
Okay.
The next one, give me a second right here. Yeah, the next few in, I think Yeah, there's like two characters that have like one of those indoor quests.
Yeah.
One of them is Mr. Flushman.
Okay.
He has analyzed the tea,
Why would we
and
analyze
this
the
one,
pures now? What is this strange liquid?
uh, this, this one drops the Kit teapot.
Okay.
And the last one is Thalia. She has Explore Cat's Paradise, which drops the kitty tray.
Okay.
And then we have Katrina Mad's quests. Oh wait,
No.
no, I forgot about Will Blake. Will has one that involves his house and one he interacts with Katrina.
Okay.
So the one he has indoor is called Scathing Review,
Mm-hmm. I
which
can see
drops
that.
the adhesive film.
No dogs
And then
allowed.
the and then the second one is called Established Dominance, which requires Katrina Mad, which
Mm.
drops the kitty set.
Now, I'm assuming would he be in his wolf form, kind of like doing that, and shoot do the whole kind of cat, kind of like back arch
Yeah,
thing?
yeah, yeah. And they would like circle around each other.
Mm.
So Katrina Mad has a few animations under her belt. One of them is cleaning herself.
Yeah.
Another one is called Playing with Rip.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I should also mention the items that she drops. So cleaning herself drops Voodoo Doll.
Okay.
Playing with Rip drops Mouse Toy.
Now, the other interesting thing about this too, by the way, is that this is one of those things that you drew ahead of time, like way long before. So you're actually seeing, if you're watching this on YouTube, you'd be seeing pictures of what he's just talking about. So, you know,
Yeah.
more in-depth stuff. But
The only thing that the only thing I didn't draw yet was the established dominance one.
yeah, which is fine. Unless you do it, unless you
There,
do it now, and then I ended up showing it. But we'll see.
the next one is called performing necromancy, which requires the necromancy circle,
Hmm.
and that drops the pendant of power.
Yeah, so that's the final item in the sense for the that one set, right?
Yeah, the horror of the Black Ring set.
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah. Oh, oh, she's overpowered. Oh, okay. I wonder if they're gonna nerf that in the future, kind of like what happened to Susie. It's like, oh, she dropped the black diamond. No, nope. Goodbye.
Well, it requires the same time frame as the pendant of power's crafting.
Okay, 32 hours. She'll be
Yeah.
dropped like Andy. Goodbye.
The next one is called digging up Rip,
Okay.
and this requires Rip Stone, and that drops ectoplasm.
Okay.
So she's going to be pretty useful for the cat K set, so you
Oh,
don't
I'm
have to
sure
constantly farm.
everyone's gonna love her because he drops ectoplasm. It's like, finally, I don't have to spawn stupid Andrew Cross, stupid thing anymore. Screw you,
Yeah,
zombie.
exactly. She's like the character that you're gonna want to fucking get, you know?
It's like me and when it comes to the atoms, or like even in this game too. It's like, yeah, you can craft this, or you can have this character do it for yourself. And it's like, yeah, I'll have the character do it. Screw the crafting. I know it's a big part of the game, but yeah, nah, not doing it.
The last three are indoor quests. So the first one is Mad Kitty Party, which requires the Mad Tea Party, which requires the Kitty Party set,
Hmm.
and that drops the Zoomorphic Potion.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Then there's Cat Sitting Mr. Muffin, which requires her cottage, and that drops Roach's Bruschetta. And lastly, watching cat videos, which also requires her cottage, and that drops the Cyborg Hacker.
Okay.
And yeah, those are all the quests that the characters can do.
Boy, comes the fun part now. Here comes the story, right?
Yeah.
Oh boy, now we get to
So
find out the
I also
story.
have events listed here. That's just like a basic summary of what it's all about. Like for the title of Night of a Thousand Claws, the splash card thing. I was thinking of having like Rip standing near an oceanic cliff or like the promenade, facing the Cat K lighthouse as souls are encircling the lighthouse. The waves crash against the cliffside, and there would be like Katrina's face looming over it, like Spinell in the cover of Steven Universe, the movie.
Okay, very specific, but yeah, I see it.
Yeah, so the overall concept for the event is based on liches and necromancy, but with the theming on cats, hence necromancy.
I don't know why I'm gonna throw this out there, but it kind of sounds a little bit like Scooby Doo on Zombie Island, which
Oh
is,
yeah, that is right.
like witches that are like cat people, like island. Yeah, it sounds about right.
Oh, that did not occur to me until now.
Oh, well, you unknowingly did it. Oh no, you stupid dog.
So there are some dialogue that I have written, but I haven't exactly finished.
That's fine. You can just summarize it like I've done in the past.
So like, okay, so Curly starts off by trying to introduce like the story and shit. Then
Yeah.
Slappy pops in like he always does, being a little shit. Yeah, but
I'm sorry. It's like
so
Waluigi's wah. It's like every time it's like meh.
but Curly like starts off saying that the theming is all about cats, and he start Slappy was like about to protest, like, no, we talked about where is it? Oh, so it starts off something like, I sure hope you're not a cat person because this story might go over feline
Oh my
instead of the line. And then Slappy's like, no, we talked about this, Curly. No more puns. Your brand of humor isn't funny. It's like, oh, don't get your cummerbund in a bunch. I'm just alluding to the fact that this story is about cats.
It'll be
It's like,
perfect.
and then Slappy's like, oh, what? Cats? It's like, yeah, with a desire to steal people's souls. And then Slappy's just like, okay, I'm listening. Well, it better be good.
I'll allow it for now, but it better not
so
do
he
anything stupid.
so he introduces Katrina Mad, and he throws in and she's just simply mad about cats. It's like, Curly, I swear to God. And then Curly's like, no, really. She's like one of those crazy cat ladies you often see in sitcoms. Lives in a cottage to herself with a bunch of cats. However, she uses this to her advantage.
Can imagine Crazy Cat
So
Lady from The Simpsons, like, ah! But she just talks like a subscribe.
I don't know why, but now I'm just picturing the fucking crazy cat lady as like a Pokemon trainer. She just like does her rambling and throw like Pokeballs that have like cat Pokemon in them.
She doesn't even throw the she doesn't have Pokeballs. She just throw the cat item, like cat Pokemon. Yeah,
just
you have
throws
them
one
all
at a
over
fucking
yourself.
Charizard. Just throws a cat at the
Meow. She throws
trainers.
a meow.
He throws me out. Let's see. So it introduces Katrina Mad. She sets up her cafe to drum up business, and then she's like, "Oh, this business will be booming. Who doesn't like cats?" And then
I
like Mrs.
don't.
Mark shows up and is like curious about the place, and then like Katrina introduces herself, like, "Hey, I opened a tea shop where you can have cats here." And then Mrs. Mark is like, "Oh, how fun! I have a cat myself. His name is Mr. Muffin." And like the whole scene starts off as like this, friendly conversation between like two cat lovers, and everything is like too adorable. And then
I'm
like in
sure
the next scene after the twist, it just cuts back to Slappy, who's like getting really fucking irritated. It's like this is supposed to be
it's so stupid.
scary.
Yeah, and not only that, but I'm assuming Mrs. Marr would probably be like going like, "Oh my, I didn't know you were that thematic with this scene." It's like, oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I love a cat. That's why I dress up like this. That's it. Yeah,
I sleep in this makeup, by the way.
I love cats
anyway,
so much I become them. I am.
anyway, so like Slappy gets irritated because he's expecting like a really scary story, and he's like, "I wanted a story about soul-absorbing cats, and you're giving me tea time at Katrina's." And then it's like, then the Curly's like, "Hey, I'm getting to there. I'm setting the scene." And then it's like, and Slappy's like, "Well, you're boring me." And then like, and Curly like pretty much ignores him. And like gets back to the story.
All right.
So then Lucy and Dustin like show up and see the cat cafe and uh, start playing with the cats and stuff. Uh, have like a quest involving that.
Mm-hmm.
Next, Reggie makes an appearance.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. I mean, I
He
guess
was curious about, huh?
I was just gonna say maybe he's doing a report for the school's newspaper or something.
No, I said Reggie.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, Reggie Mayfield, not Ricky.
Yeah, my bad. Fuck. Yeah, what am I? It's supposed to be God, my fucking character. I mean, they can't blame me. It sounds familiar. God damn it.
I didn't know you go to school. I thought he was too rich for school, but whatever.
Ah,
Anyway,
yes. I used my whole passion. Actually, was writing for the school's newspaper.
I've
That's
invested
why I
all of my
hated
stocks in the
Christmas
school
because
newspaper.
I wasn't allowed to do the newspaper, so I vowed to get through the Christmas.
They didn't allow me to be in the school paper. Well, I bought them out now.
Now they have
Was
no.
who's laughing now, bitches? Anyway, so Reggie is on break and walks up to the cat cafe to get something to drink. So Katrina sets him up with a cup of tea. And Reggie's very specific on what kind of tea he likes because he's allergic to certain things.
Oh, okay,
Like, for example, they have it listed that he's lactose intolerant, so he doesn't want any milk or cream.
okay.
Uh,
Hey, like, what would
and
you
it
like,
also,
sir? Do you have coffee? Get the fuck out.
it's like, no, this is a tea shop. What the fuck?
Get
Anyway,
out.
so he says he's not allergic to sugar. He's just not a big fan of sugar, so he doesn't want sugar either.
So he doesn't want sugar
And
and he doesn't want milk. So he doesn't want
he also
black
doesn't want
tea.
blueberries, peaches. He also doesn't want blueberries, peaches, ginger, or lemon in his tea.
Why don't I just give you hot water? How about that? No, that'd be perfect. Thank
Well,
you.
well, uh, he also drones on about some other things, but that gets cut off by the quest. So, like after the quest is done, like Katrina sets him up with like a cup of tea. This is just catnip with with orange pico leaves and a sprinkle of cinnamon.
Cause fuck you.
uh, so eventually it cuts back to like Slappy, who's like getting agitated. Is like, Curly, if I don't see any soul hunger cats, I'm leaving. And then Curly is like, fine, I'll give Baby his bottle. And then Slappy's like, hey, I resent that. So then the next is where
I mean, I'm just kind of
Katrina.
sorry. I'm just kind of reminded of like the Adams in some cases when I remember Margot calling Gomez a fucking baby, and he's just like, I don't mind being called a baby. It means I get what I want. Nothing's more curdling as a baby's cry.
I mean,
And he's not wrong.
is he wrong?
No,
Is he wrong? No.
no, he's not. Oh, that's the beauty of it. He just looks at the positives
and I
and
say that
negatives.
as and I say that as one of my friends actually recently had a baby, but I digress. Anyway, so now it cuts to Katrina, closing shop for the day. She goes on like this monologue, or not, this a bit of an exposition about how the promenade is like where I guess a lot of
The epic,
souls like to linger around.
the epicenter of all the fun stuff happening. I don't know
Yeah,
why. There's
yeah,
fun things happen at the promenade. Yeah, it's a hot topic. All the
yeah.
fun stuff happens
So
there.
yeah, so uh, and it's also revealed that Katrina actually, like, this isn't her first time being in Horror Town, as she was in Horror Town several years ago when she was younger. But she had to lay her cat Rip in the promenade.
Oh, okay. I see where this
So
is
she
going.
spent some time out of Horror Town to study necromancy. So that's when she comes back to Horror Town to revive her dead cat.
Now, was she I know she's in her cat form in a sense, but like, was she human at one point and then got turned into a cat because she was looking for bring her dead cat to life, or would this be like she was just a cat-born species?
She was human before, but she moved to Japan in Catcairn Island in Japan.
Yeah, and then that's what's ended up. Okay, all right. I just was curious about that because I didn't know. Makes sense. She got her cat powers.
So apparently the ancient words to bring Rip back to life. It's just like a bunch of
Kawaii, kawaii noises.
No,
Ooh,
no,
yeah.
no, it's just like a
Ooh.
lot of like it's just like a lot of droned on meowing.
Drawing, yeah, moo woos and you woos.
Yeah, I can just imagine that. It's just like
Ooh.
ooh,
Yeah.
whoa,
Whoa.
yeah.
Yeah. I just reminded. There's an animation of what do you call it? Chicken Nugget, I think, if you're familiar with them.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so there's like cheeseburger. There's this episode where I think Slushy was talking. There's like, hey, cheeseburger, yeah. Can you go ahead and say yeah? No, please, no, please. I said I won't. Yeah. He's just it's like he's just happy about that because he's like,
So uh this was written way before the fucking Star Wars Acolyte, where they say that Force is the thread and shit. But it
let the
mentions
past
that.
die if you have to. Kill it if you have to.
But she brings up, or Katrina brings up that the that our lives are extended by something called the yarn of fate. And this is actually something similar to like the strings of fate from like Greek mythology with the fates,
Mm-hmm. That, as we all
where
know, if you have Greek
where the
mythology.
yarn where the yarn can be extended as far as the eye can see, but it can also be cut short.
Yeah. Isn't that like Hercules kind of went through that type of thing with the those
Yeah,
witches?
it's like Greek Roman type mythology.
Yeah.
Also, don't believe what Disney tells you.
Then the
The
Disney
actual
likes to.
story of Hercules is not true.
I kind of want to do something with the Disney meme where it's just like, what are those? Oh, I don't know. I just feel kind of comfy. I've been trying to kill this guy for many years, and you are wearing this merchandise.
Yeah, and then it just cuts to like Panic who's like sucking on like a little straw. It's like thirsty.
I just
And
don't
then it
know.
just
I'm just hoping the perfect. I'm just hoping for a perfect update that kind of lets me do that. Especially if the
so
crafting
anyway,
happens to be like shoes in a Slurpee drink.
now we just have to base the whole event on just that alone. Slurpees and
Yeah,
sneakers.
you heard them, hey, developers, you hear that? Do that so I can be happy. Let me meme. Let me meme.
Anywho, so with the quote unquote ancient words, Rip finally arises from his grave. And Katrina does like a whole Frankenstein bit where she's like, "He's alive, alive."
Like Franken-Turkey.
So, so then, like she, I guess, so it cuts to like the next day where she's open for business, and everyone's coming in, business is booming, everyone's playing with the cats, having some tea and all that. Um, this is kind of the part where I got cut off from writing the script, but the basic idea is that uh, Lucy plays with the cats for a little bit, and then she spots a closed off area of the shop, right? Where it's kind of like opened ajar.
Hmm.
And there she sees another cat just fucking sitting there, and that cat happens to be Rip.
It smells funny. It
No,
just fly. They're
she like
dead
tries
things.
to coo the cat into like coming to play with the other cats and shit. But
There you
Rip
go,
just like
guy.
demonically just sits there glaring. So like Lucy's like, okay, well, if the cat isn't gonna come to me, I'll go to it. So as she like tries to approach the cat, Rip scratches her arm,
Oh boy.
and she's like, "Ah, man, no wonder you're in the back.
Ah,
You're a vicious
fuck!
little kid."
You little shit. Kicks it. Kicks it like what he did to Floshy the Snowman. Okay, that's rude. What was that? Yeah, that's what I thought.
Then like, and then like, Katrina like tries to usher. Katrina like finds out that Lucy is like close to the closed door, and she like panics a little. Is like, "Hey, you shouldn't be back here. Leave that cat alone. It's not very friendly. It doesn't like making friends." And closes the door so that way doesn't scratch anybody else or anything.
You would think that she would have locked it in the first place, but she's very irresponsible, as we are finding out.
Well, she didn't
All I
think
wanted
that
was
Rip
bringing my
would open
dead
the
cat
fucking
back
door.
because I had very much problems.
I have separation issues.
That's why I brought him back to Horror Town, so that way I can bring him back from the dead, the Pet Cemetery style.
Well, yeah. Well, the thing is, like I said, Rip was already buried in Horror Town. It was just many, many years ago in the Promenade.
God, and it hasn't rot. I'm surprised it's still like not like bones if it's that
No,
long ago.
weirdly enough, his body is actually quite preserved. But aside from that, so what
Well,
happens next is
somewhat
that
preserved.
yeah, Lucy starts like scratching her at her scratch,
Scratch.
and yeah, it's like really itchy to her, and like Lucy's like, "Hey, what happened?" It's like, "Oh, I got scratched by by one of the cats that are like hidden in the back room there." It's like, "Oh, I guess he wasn't really friendly." So
No shit.
they came on to it for a little while, and I'm trying to remember how else it went, but at a certain point, right? I guess Katrina, like at the end of the shift, Katrina tries to figure out why Rip is so aggressive because she remembers Rip as like being overly friendly in life,
Well,
but
geez, you brought it
I guess
back from the dead. It's obviously not Rip anymore. Like the fuck
but it
was her?
turns out
Like, God, you should think that. Whatever. Stupid girl.
that she read the wrong spell, and this actually summoned a demonic cat yokai into Rip's deceased body.
Oh, what a dumb bitch.
Well, considering
You
that all the fucking
dumbass.
necromancy spells are, despite the fact, like, ignoring the fact that all the fucking necromancy spells are just meows and mews and all that shit, like,
Oh,
it's very
oh, I
easy to
read
mix all
it
that
on
shit up.
page 666. I was supposed to read on 664. God damn it.
So, like, she like reads over like the spell that she read, and then like finds out that in order for Rip to stay alive, he has to scratch people, and these absorb bits of life energy into his. And if he scratches the same person 9 times, then that person becomes a Nekomusume.
Okay, so the uninformed people, I'm not saying me because I'm not saying that, but for the people listening at home who don't know what that is, go on, would you explain that to them?
A Nekomusume is a subspecies of Bake Neko, which is a monster cat cat monster yokai, which is rooted in Japanese mythology.
Of course, of course.
Nekomusume is often commonly associated with more humanoid cat people.
So kind of like what's
So
going on with Katrina there.
yeah,
Okay. Yeah, so that's what I figured. That's what I thought personally. But some people don't know their Japanese mythology like you and I do.
there's more to it. Yeah, there's more to yokai than just like the Neko aspects of it, but
Oh yeah, like there's a farting one.
there's
Yeah,
a farting one.
the whole one
There's
that's
also
basically make fart noises. Kind of like the duck from um Belly and Mandy. Young lady, do you feel that's appropriate? I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, it would be very rude to yell at somebody when they're reading a book.
But there's also one set of yokai where you know those horror tropes of like living dolls and shit.
Yep.
The Japanese actually have something similar called the Tsukumogami.
Yeah, I've heard
Now
there's a
these
village.
are
There's like a village about that, isn't there?
in the Shinto region of Japan.
Mm-hmm.
There is a little shrine of sorts where if you have any dolls that you don't want anymore, you can donate it to this shrine, so that way the Tsukumogami don't spawn from them.
Okay.
Because how it works is that a Tsukumogami is a yokai spirit that inspirits discarded or abandoned things, and
Yeah,
then they
like the
become
umbrella that we've
twisted.
seen many times with it before, right?
Yeah. Not only that, but the Choshinobake is another, and that one's like a paper lantern ghost.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I've seen that.
There are like many different variations of like Tsukumogami,
Yeah. What's
and
funny too
dolls
is that
have a
in Japan, the yokai watch is like as big as Pokemon over there. And that's just interesting to see. They kind of try to bring it over to North America, and it kind of worked a little bit, but it wasn't as big as, say, in Japan, which makes sense because yokai is kind of like a Japan only thing. Like people would know, oh yeah, I know the mythos behind this, right? But
I love fucking Yokai Watch, man.
yeah,
It's like the greatest thing ever.
oh yeah,
It's
no,
it's just
definitely, they did a
basically
good job with that stuff. Definitely, they
it's
make
kind of like
education. They make
Pokemon, but
education
all the
about
Pokemon are
spirits
ghosts.
fun.
It's kind of like Pokemon, but all the Pokemon are ghosts, you know?
Real life ghosts. It's like, oh, I know that. It's like you learn something new. Like I said, like the fart ghost.
It's generally why I liked Yokai Watch a lot more than I do Pokemon, because the ghost type of Pokemon is like the only thing that I really liked about Pokemon. I love ghosts.
Yeah,
And Yokai Watch is just basically Pokemon but ghosts. So like what could be better for someone who likes ghost Pokemon, you know?
yeah. It's just not
But
100%
anyway,
scary. It's more like kid friendly type of thing, like cute
well, yeah, of
character.
course.
I mean, yeah, yeah, I mean,
It's
yeah,
gonna
obviously
have some
you get some of
Pokemon
the spirits,
aesthetics.
but not as big as not like real life stuff.
They actually have one of the most infamous yokai involved in the Yokai Watch, which I think is believed, if I'm not mistaken, it's pronounced the Gashida Kodo or Gashida Koro. And what that is like that's like a big ass fucking skeleton.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think I know remember this one. Yeah,
The only
there's a
yokai
lot.
I don't think the only yokai I don't think they ever incorporated yet was the Juboko. And what that one is that's often referred to as the vampire tree.
Oh God, don't we have that in HorrorTown though?
Yes, we do actually. That was during the Don't Feed the Vampire update.
Yeah, the update we don't want to talk about. I remember reading
So
that, and I was too stupid to think about like that was when I was uneducated, but now I'm not. But give me a sec.
tree who grows during like fields of war where most blood was slain. And
Here,
if you approach this tree, it will suck your blood, obviously.
yeah, yeah,
But yeah, that's like the one yokai that I don't think Yokai Watch has ever incorporated yet.
yeah, it makes sense.
Although it's gonna be yeah, it's gonna be extremely hard to do that considering that it
It's a
feeds on
tree.
blood.
Yeah, and it's a tree. So how the hell is it gonna move?
Well, it's not the fact that it's a tree, it's the fact that it sucks on blood. But then again, we also have a mosquito creature, so I don't know. I think they can just like be creative with that. They probably might pull like a vampire orches thing with like Yu-Gi-Oh. I don't know if you're familiar with that.
Yeah, I think so.
And feel free to tell me if I cut off during any of this.
Well, I had to pause real quick for a moment, so there's a possibility, but I probably done something about it. I probably did an information thing.
Well, yeah. In Yu-Gi-Oh, there was like a Yu-Gi-Oh card that was something similar to the Juboko called Vampire Orches.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I was referring to in case I got cut off.
Yeah, yeah, no worries. I think we
But
got off track.
yeah, we did. Anyway, so
That's
there's
not
like
not
a
normal
vicious
from the podcast episode. We warned you, but
yeah.
whatever.
So there's like a vicious cat yokai that is inspirited Rip's dead corpse.
Yeah.
So like I guess because of that, the yokai also has certain control over Katrina as well, but she just doesn't know it yet. But eventually, later on, after another workday, uh, both Katrina and Rip decide to reanimate all the dead cats.
Because
So
as you do.
yeah, so they go back to Cat Cave Cemetery in the promenade and start performing their necromancy spell to revive spirits of the dead cats, so they can inspirit other people to turn them into what Katrina was.
Yeah.
But at the same time, Will Blake, who has like this huge disposition against cats, notices that something is off and decides to, try to put a stop to, Katrina and Rip. So during the day, like he tries to tell everyone who's like going to the cat cafes, like, hey, don't go there. You know, Katrina Mad is like summoning dead cats.
He's
And like they just
evil.
and they just like brush him off, like, yeah, sure, whatever. It's just a little cat cafe. I don't know why you're getting so upset. It's because you hate cats. They like mock him and shit.
Yeah.
So then like Will's like, oh, screw this. So he goes home and writes like a negative review on the Cat K Cafe to hopefully dissuade people. And,
Yep.
and he just like makes up a whole bunch of shit like, oh, the tea just sucks. It's just terrible. And the
He's one of those
service
people.
don't even get. Yeah, he's like one of those like flying Yelp reviewers. Is like, and the fucking service there don't even get me started.
Women got
But
awful. Cats took a piss and shit on the floor. In my
yeah,
coffee,
there's
in
like
my tea. Cat just
yeah, and
came up and
there's like
pissed in it. Terrible service.
he yeah, he goes into even more extremes. Like there's like, and they even have like an open cat litter thing right next to the tables you sit. It's
Yeah.
completely
So
unhygienic.
they could
And
do their business right in front of you. It's
yeah,
sick.
they can look at you right in the eye as they're pooping.
Guys, dead face while they do their business.
I heard of don't I heard of don't shit where you eat, but this is a whole
This
different
is
matter.
ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. There's cat hair all over the tea and all over the furniture, and it's completely unclean and all that shit.
Cat piss. It
But
smells like cat piss.
yeah, but of course, as is, he gets called out, lying. It's like,
Yeah.
damn it, that didn't work either.
How did you know it was me? Wolf lovers. Who else would say that, right?
Yeah, he gets called out by Katrina Mad, who is like, yeah, your review is like full of bullshit. You didn't even show up today. It's like I don't know why you're trying to like ruin my fucking business. And then like eventually, like, when uh Katrina and Rip do more of their little necromantic kitty magic,
Mm-hmm.
Will's like, you know what? Fuck this. I'm just gonna tackle them like head on. This is already like going too far. So he fights Katrina and Rip,
Yep.
but with Rip, he enlists a bunch of cat souls to fight for him, which
Okay.
is actually something that happens in the Cry of the Cat book.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because he brings about spirits of dead cats to fight with him.
Yeah.
But the thing that happens in the book, oh, I hear like an echo or something. But anyway, what
Sorry.
happens in the book is that I guess the ghosts get distracted by a cat toy and actually attack Rip instead.
Nice. And that destroys the cat, I guess. Or
Yeah, that
the
kills Rip.
evil spirit that lives in his body.
Well, without a body to possess, or I guess an intact body, like yeah, the spirit like goes someplace else.
Yeah. Goes into
But
something.
But it's like, oh, I have this really weird need to want to lick myself in places I don't want people seeing.
I have this thing for brains. Yeah, that's Pink Eye does that to you.
Anyway, so like Rip incorporates the cat souls to fight with him, and
Hmm.
Katrina uses her magic to become like a bigger giant calico cat, which is actually something that happens in the Thousand Claws book.
Yeah.
So like Will like tries to go and fight the Rip and Katrina Mad. But
Yeah.
because Katrina Mad made herself into like this big ass cat, like, there are others who like help Will fight against her. It's like, what? How do you know like I was trying to do something evil? It's like we see like a big ass cat. Something is in the promenade. Something's going down here. That always happens. It's like, oh shit. Okay. It's like I didn't really think that through.
Yeah. Like,
So I guess
especially in the promenade. Like you could have done it off to the One Nightwing's castle, that'd been fine, but no, promenade, like we all expected that.
yeah.
Like
So
like Mr. Mortman said. Does anyone realize that everything bad that happens to be on the promenade?
yeah, everything always happens. Anything weird always happens. It's out numerous times.
And it's not
But anyway,
because the people are like, oh, we need a event area. We love our events at FOMO.
but anyway, one of the characters decides a good idea was to hook up a hose to a fire hydrant and splash Katrina Mad with water.
Because we know cats don't like water.
Exactly. And they did the same thing with Rip.
They melt.
So what happened what happened with Rip is that once he fell into the yokai spirit actually decides to leave the body because it doesn't like water. So it leaves Rip's body and like fucks off back to Cat K in Japan.
Yeah.
And what happens with Katrina is that she gets knocked over the cliffside and falls into the water as well. But she still retains like her cat-like appearance. It's just that her powers are dwindled significantly.
Yeah.
So like at the end of the story, Katrina Mad like crawls back up to from the cliffside and is just like, oh well, that sucks.
Yeah.
And then it closes off. Then like she tries to resume like everything is like normal and pretends like, oh, the spell is broken, so that way she doesn't get splashed with water anymore.
Yeah. Oh, I was possessed by the cat and you freed me.
But like then it cuts off to like Slappy and Curly is like, so Slappy, what did you think of that story? And then Slappy's like, it sucks. It's like, oh well, hopefully next time I'll tell a story to appease your little feelings. It's like the next time you pull some shit like that again, I'm gonna fucking bury you in that cemetery. And then it's just like cuts off to that.
Yeah.
The side story is an origin story of uh, Rip and Katrina Mad,
Hmm.
and the side story is Cry of the Cat.
Mm-hmm.
And how that works is that it starts off with like young Katrina Mad, playing with Rip and all that, and Rip actually gets run over by a car.
Oh God. Went snowball almost.
Yeah, and what ends up happening is that Katrina gets into like a really depressive state. It's like, oh, I love my cat. My cat was my only friend, and her parents ended up getting like a position in or getting like a better opportunity in Japan. So they moved to Cat K Island in Japan, and she's been there for like a long time, and she uncovers like the ritualistic things of necromancy,
Yeah.
and then she like practices it and all sorts of stuff. And then like a few years pass and she's like an adult and she decides to move back to uh, Horror Town to start her plans on reviving Rip.
Yeah.
And that's basically the summary of the side plot.
Yeah. Makes sense. Yeah. That sounds fun.
Slappy doesn't like it too much.
uh, yeah. I mean, yeah, I
But
do.
unfortunately, that's all I could basically come up with on such short notice. It's
Yeah,
not exactly the best story, and it does require a little bit of tweaking, but that's basically the overall idea.
yeah, the gist of it. Yeah. Yeah, I do like the origin story, like bringing a bit of Japan in there. Like the one thing I like about Horror Town is that they kind of bring different origins from different places and make people go, "Oh yeah,
Yeah.
learn." Even if R.L. Stein was just like, "Nah, everything belongs in the United States," even though he didn't notice it. You know, like Reggie, I feel
One
is
of the
more
art-
like Indian. I think is sent just because of the bazaar and everything like that, and his skin. I don't know. That's my opinion. That's my things, but meh.
I don't know.
Anyways.
Seder kind of just gives off as like a crazy homeless man vibe.
What's a homeless vibe now?
No, I'm saying that Seder kind of gives creepy homeless guy vibe.
It's metal
Like one
Jesus.
of the type of like yeah, like one of the homeless people spouts on about the end is nigh, repent for your sins, sort of shit.
He looks like a hippie too. He's like, "What up, man?
Yeah, hippie
Whoa, you
homeless.
got your your eyes, man."
You gotta
Yeah.
open your mind, man. Open the third eye.
But he's basically a merchant in a sense, kind of like how you see in Resident Evil 4, that merchant guy is just like, "I got something you want. What you buying? Like what you
Hey,
selling?"
what you want? I got items for sale. You
Yeah.
want a pop rocket? I got pop rockets.
You got giant ass plushie? We got giant ass plushies. We got four
You
giant ass
want some
plushies
trash?
here.
We got trash.
Yeah.
You want to be the trash man? I got trash.
I get trash for you. I eat the garbage on the floor. I spread it all over the ring.
One of the
Uh,
decorations I do want to incorporate also is the beckoning cat, which
okay,
is
yeah.
very popular. Yeah, which is a popular thing in Japan where, uh, you know, it because it's about the story behind the beckoning cat is actually pretty interesting
Hmm.
because it tells the tale of a guy who is kind of down on his luck and he comes across a cat who brings him good luck and he had like already a store established but it's not doing too well business wise, so a cat comes in and tries to beckon people to come in and buy shit and it works.
Yeah.
So that's like the TLDR version of the origin of the beckoning cat.
They certainly love the cats over there for sure. I mean dogs, yeah, but cats for sure, definitely. Like, they had like
They love their
they
cats
have
especially.
a trained to doctor be a cat for fuck's sakes, one of the stations.
I know that there was also a legend where a lot of the cats in Japan had like really short tails. This is mainly because back then people were actually afraid that their cats would turn into yokai, so they had to cut off their tails.
Oh my God.
Yeah, because it's believed that the uh, if a cat hits certain pinpoints of its life, then it would be able to like transform into a yokai. There is one where if a cat lives for 100 or 1,000 years, it would become a yokai. There's one where if a cat's tail becomes too long, then it would become a yokai. Another one where I guess if the cat somehow learns to speak English, or I guess technically it's I guess technically Japanese or any
Hello,
verbal
human.
language.
Konnichiwa, human. I am
Yeah,
hungry.
yeah, yeah. If it starts
Oh.
talking, yeah, the cat starts talking, then it would become a yokai. And one of the more infamous yokai is actually known as the Nekomata,
Mm,
and that kind of inspired Rip's demonic uh, aesthetics based on the Nekomata. And
yeah.
what that is the Nekomata is a Bake Neko that has two tails,
Okay, yeah, yeah.
but it's also incredibly uh, hostile.
Hmm.
what this thing can do is it can actually perform necromancy, which also ties into the theming of the event. Um, but it actually brings back human corpses and controls them like puppets.
Nice.
Another thing it can do, or one of the things it likes to do, is set houses on fire.
So it's a pyromaniac. I like watching things
More like an
burn.
arsonist.
An arsonist,
More
yes,
like an
sorry.
arsonist.
Arsonist. I
Because
like burning things.
because there's actually a difference between an arsonist and a pyromaniac, and that's the fact that a pyromaniac actually gets off to, setting shit on fire.
Yeah.
So it can be kind of weird for like a Nekomata to set a house on fire and be like, "Oh yeah, that
Oh,
shit turns
yeah.
on."
Let it burn, baby, burn. Or even,
But anyway, the the demon that possesses the Rip's dead body is based on the Nekomata,
yeah.
and yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah. It sounds fun. I mean, no, it's not
Yeah.
fun, but you know what I'm trying to say. But yeah. So yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's it. I don't know what else to talk. I think we pretty much summed everything up there, right?
Yeah, Katrina Mad being like the fucking overpowered playable character.
Yeah.
If you don't want to grind for ectoplasm or fucking pendants of power and all that shit.
You'll love it. You'll love her.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds about right. She'll be overpowered for a bit before they nerfed her at some point. You can't do that. You need a nerfer. All right. Anyways, with that in mind, I think that will do it here. I don't think there's much else we can talk about or do, right?
No.
No, that makes sense. All right. So with that in mind, as per usual, the next episode is going to be what I'll be talking about. And if you're curious about what that will be, here's a meme clip.
Hey, Simpson, I'm feeling a mite peckish. Mind if I chew your ear?
Dad, you killed the zombie Flanders.
He was a zombie?
Oh, Homer. You silly goose. Yeah, Homer's lipless, never fails. Yeah, so it's a very known Simpsons Treehouse of Horror episode. If we can figure out what context, then you might know what it is. I mean, yeah, it's a zombie book, but what zombie book? I don't know. Maybe the hint earlier from this episode might give you a hint as well, because they might also give you a hint of what we might be talking about as far as past events. But I digress. I guess with that in mind, I will wrap everything up here. I've been Grim, and this has been my co-host Vampire.
Also known as Lasagna Love 69.
And that's a wrap.
God, I hate Mondays.
See ya. I stole your
See ya.
line!
No, you didn't. Because I said it afterwards, see? Like
No, it
this.
doesn't
See ya.
count. It doesn't count.
Yeah, I did. I did it.
Okay, goodbye.
See ya.